Morning to you, Tony Virtue speaking, Virtue and Partners with our regular monthly update. As I alluded to, actually a bit of volatility in the market over the last few days. The driver probably was the US interest rates moving up and a little bit of brinkmanship going on out there at the moment. If you're running the US economy, you want low interest rates and you want high stock markets. And Trump's made it very clear, 50 years of experience of borrowing money in America. He knows what he's doing. Quite a little blowback there on the Reserve Bank and Jerome Powell. Probably more importantly is what's going on in the China-US quasi-trade war we have at the moment. That said, Chinese exports again a new record for August. The good news now is that we're actually getting some hard data coming through in the last couple of days. We're in earnings season in the US and the numbers were very, very good. So the net effect of that, when I say volatile, that's both ways. So at one stage the Dow was up 700-800 points last night and it's ended up nearly 600 points up. So the net result is we're almost back to where we started. And it just shows the danger of trying to kind of get in and out of markets in a hurry. That's what we employ fund managers to do. That's why we use exchange traded funds to at least cover an index. Look, the midterms in 6th of November, so I would expect this to continue at least till that time. And it's certainly in the Republicans' interest to get some good numbers over the next 2 to 3 weeks. So there's a bit of a heads up for you there. Domestically, we're moving into the AGM season. Telstra AGM yesterday, which I think it was 60% voted against the executive package, so that's quite a number there. Do remember that our market is very, very different now to the US. So while the Americans are driven very much by these FANGs, the ITs, 50% of our stock market is financial services. So every time we have an inquiry, that's generally bad for financial services, and they're looking a bit beaten up, looking a bit cheap at the moment. And in very much the top 20 stock in Australia is very much a yield play. We're getting a consistent 5-6% dividend yield, most of that franked. Getting growth is a little bit harder there. So let's see how these AGMs go. There'll be a few protests no doubt out there. The banks are reporting shortly and they're looking quite cheap at the moment. So hopefully they've put their woes behind them, get back to what they're doing well, and let's see if we can have a sustained rally up to Christmas now. Importantly, the actual deficit of the country now seems to be getting under control, and it may well be that the country will move into surplus this year. Obviously a lot of money to pay back from the past. The rating agencies like that. That's good for borrowing money. It means the government can borrow money cheaper. It means everybody that feeds off that can also borrow money cheaper. So that's a good news story, and keeping that AAA rating is a significant advantage for Australia relative to other countries at this stage. Finally, the property market. Well, you know, all the pundits like to talk about this. My graphs show that we're still on trend. If you look at particularly Sydney over time, you know, we've had a few good years. Typically we have 1 or 2 years soft years while things settle down. The actual cost of rent, of course, is still going up. So they're 5 to 7 year time horizons at the very least, and I wouldn't be panicking with this. On the lending side, we're seeing some clearer air coming through now. Just give us time to get your mortgage applications properly completed. This is not a time to panic, and try to look through some of the press at the moment. Generally, you make money when, you know, they say about blood on the streets. You make your money when things are not looking so great, and if you can see through the cycle to the future, then that's how money is made. So look, that's enough for today. I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Take care, Tony.